They just started shooting the TV with a radio jammer as soon as I flipped on the camera, and now they stopped. You can't really see it that well because it glows so much. I don't know, the TV looks normal from my eyes, but not from the camera lens. There's too much white contrast from the camera lens to the TV, but my eyes, the TV's a nice picture. Anyways, you can hear it normal. It's not, the antenna reception's not being broken up. But as soon as I turn the camera on, and you can see that around the antenna, $40 digital antenna I bought at Best Buy about 5 months ago. See, this is January 2018, so I don't know, like August or September of 2017, I bought this. You can't even see it. It's covered by silver and aluminum pots and pans because these Hispanic gangstalkers keep shooting it with the radio jammer from several locations too, from up above, from the sides, from behind. That's why I put that big steel plate behind it, and then from below. So I put it in there. Now they're hitting it really hard. But channel 11 is the channel they've been able to disable the most, and that's what I have it on right now. If I switch the channel to 9, see, that's just radio jammer. That's just cyber criminals shooting the TV with radio jammer. See, this is channel 9. It seems like it can't even touch this channel after I shield it. See, if I didn't have that on it, they could make this channel go away as much as they want, or any other channel. Channel 5. Oh, they're shooting something, or the antennas aren't pointed correctly. I haven't quite tested all the channels yet since I put new shielding around the digital antenna. And this is me. You see, I'm wearing a Staticot around my head under a hat. It's 30% steel woven because they shoot me with direct energy weapon over 100,000 times the past 6 years. I think it's electromagnetic radiation pulsing direct energy weapon, but there's several kinds. And this group of very sadistic criminals are guilty of millions of crimes, just on me alone. I promise you that on the Holy Bible. They have also, poisoned me and my mom's food, damaged over half our brains. They cause all these floaters in my vision now from poisonings. A lot of abdominal issues. I have a belly now the past year because my food digests so much slower and more painfully often even no appetite. I eat half as much the past year, even though I've gained a belly now. I always had a six-pack. I'm wearing this cape. It actually covers my whole back. This Staticot material that I ordered on lessemf.com. It's $10 for 1 by 5 feet of it, or 1 by 6 feet of it. And it does shield their direct energy weapons that cause muscle sores, cramps, aches, itches, headache, fatigue, malaise, nausea, all kinds of ringing in the ears, sore muscles, mostly though, from light to heavy. I mean, it can feel like a sudden punch when they shoot a real strong beam of direct energy weapon at me. But today I'm going to continue emailing churches a 60-page letter about these technologies they use. They have remote neural monitoring. They have implants in my body. They have over 5 of them in my body. They have in my ears, my eyes, optic nerves, brain, 2 in my spinal cord, and then also on my peripheral nervous system parts. 2 of them were intravenously slipped in me at 2 different hospitals. One was by a Hispanic and one was by a platinum blonde-haired Nazi triage nurse at UNM Emergency Room Hospital in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The other one was up here in Edina, Minnesota at Fairview Hospital on France. The second or third floor, he was doing a blood draw and he slipped another one in me. And since then, they've put more neurotransponders, neuroprosthetics, maybe optogenetics or thermogenetic nerve stimulating and scanning, micro and nano technology combined. That's also mobile and remotely controlled, wirelessly connected to their supercomputers out there. Who knows where? New Mexico still, maybe Minnesota. Who knows what state? Who knows how many supercomputers they have? But at least 20 of them, mostly Hispanics, have been targeting me since June of 2011. And they've had remote surveillance on me since the end of 2008. Where another doctor in Las Cruces, New Mexico, was looking in my ear with the otoscope, which is like a magnifying light that doctors usually have. And when he was looking in my right ear, in end of 2008, I suddenly felt a piercing in that ear. And after that, I started hearing Hispanic voices about twice a year, once in Italian. But then middle of November of 2011, I was hearing Hispanic voices every day when I was at my mom's house in Albuquerque, even though I could not see any of them. And that was after an intrusion in my bedroom in June of 2011 when they started targeting me. 3 Hispanic men standing in my room, standing around my bed. I wake up for 5 seconds after I was asleep for a few hours and see a tube over my mouth that was pumping sedating anesthetized me. But before I was sedated under, I woke up for 5 seconds and saw these 3 men standing around my bedroom. They said, and then they said, "You have a nice bedroom." And then about the 4th or 5th second, they said, "If you try anything, we'll kill you." And then I was knocked out by the 5th or 6th second. The next morning, my eyelids were real sore, and I started hearing Hispanic voices about twice a month. The first 3 months, they were seeing through my eyes the whole time and starting to really scan my brain with neurotransponders, micro neurotransponders they implanted in me that night. But the intravenous one started in 2014, started causing involuntary movements thousands of times a day since January of 2014, end of January. Before then, I only had an involuntary movement maybe once or twice a month, not thousands of times a day. And I hear them, their voice to skull, hundreds to thousands of times a day also since middle of November, 2011, and that's still in me. Their implants, I don't know how small they are, but they go from micro to nano size. The largest they could possibly be is the size of a grain of rice. So it'd be very hard to find. I've been doing a lot of MRIs with neurologists, spinal cord, brain, also the abdomen. I did a CT scan and a pelvic scan. I have to look at those images again. I did see some weird stuff in my brain that I have concern are the implants. So this is gang stalking, also known as, but really they're just dirty, rotten spies paid by a wealthy power broker. That's sadistic, satanic, secret society, occult-driven, racist-driven, criminal-driven, racketeering, tons of unethical research profiteering on my body and my mom, and they remotely molest our thinking a lot and our movements. They cause twitches, tremors, jolts. They push and pull my legs and stuff when I'm walking, and my head. They can shake my head like this or make my hands start doing this even when I'm trying to eat. I always had perfect, steady hands. Like I was a photographer for a few years and a painter and a wildlife technician for 10 years. No involuntary movements, total balance. Now I have like really unsteady balance as they nerve pulse me left to right, back and forward, up and down, all through my hips, legs, knees, back. Also doing stuff to my brain, making it harder to think, to feel comfortable. Yeah, I've been a target. I have 370 friends on Facebook that are also known as targeted individuals like me. But only a small portion will confide that they have implants in their body. A lot think it's from satellites or radio towers, but I'm pretty sure that well over half of them have implants that's causing their symptoms, their illness, their voice to skull, hearing malicious, barbaric people's voices in their heads when they can't see anyone around them, like in their own residence, like I am right now. But them shooting the TV with the radio jammer right now, they have more than one, like I said, up above, down below, side to side. That's why we're not getting the reception. This is why I still get over half our channels. If I didn't have that, they could do this, blackout every channel they wanted if I didn't shield this. I mean, literally, I'll be having the antenna perfectly clear reception the first 5 seconds, and then they just start hitting it. I'll move the antenna, the whole antenna, to a random new location. The first 5 seconds, it gets great reception, and then after that, they target it. They've aimed in on it and start doing this type of stuff to it. Let's see if we get in a next channel here. Let's see, what was that? Channel 5. So they blacked out channel 5. But it could be channel 5 because this is a new orientation of the antenna. So channel 5 could be because of the orientation of the antenna, not the radio jammer. But when I first started airing this video, you could see that 11 came in perfectly fine. No change in weather, no change in movement. I'm still sitting in this lazy boy that me and my cousin found a year ago. It's a long story. There are millions of crimes, poisonings, direct energy weapon assaults, nerve pulsing that cause involuntary movements thousands of times a day, spying on hundreds to thousands of people, remotely molesting hundreds to thousands of people among a gang of only 20 to 30 Hispanics from around Albuquerque, New Mexico and elsewhere. And they have connections all over the country, nationwide. They have connections up here in Minnesota where they do character assassination of me and false slander. Thousands of people have had a false rumor about me. They drive by sending nasty body language and gestures at me. So I've been through hell. I've been put through hell by this group or gang of organized stalkers that have several covert operations with military grade and medical grade, very advanced technologies that most people don't even know about. But there's several patents on voice to skull technology, hearing their voices, several patents on remote neural monitoring, reading your thoughts and your words that you're just thinking in your head without saying them, without even moving your face or anything, just words rolling around your head as you're trying to build a structure, a sentence, or a reply, or write a paper, or, you know, even, but not as much when you're in the act of talking to someone. Their technology still can't keep up as fast a lot of times. A lot of times it can, though. They've refined it more. But you're hearing about the worst thing that ever happened in humanity right from my mouth. I've been a victim of more crimes possibly than anyone else in this country for the past 6.5 years. So you're watching it. My name is Marcus George Hopkins. I'll probably post this video on YouTube. I just decided to do it on spur of the moment, or you know, spur of the moment. And oh, they make my nose itch a lot. With their direct energy weapons and their implants. They have implants now in my facial nerve that are mobile. They swam through my bloodstream, through tissues, planted proximately on specific nerve groups. Primarily my spinal cord is how they cause involuntary movements all over my body. Implants in my optic nerve, in my ear's cochlea organ, or elsewhere in my inner ear, and in my brain is how they read my thoughts. There's several patents, again, on remote neural monitoring. I could show you at least 10 just for that. And some of them date back to the 70s. Alright, so wake up, because we're not in 1908, we're in 2018. And people, you know, they'd rather hand skepticism to avoid themselves being targeted, I think, instinctively, instead of lending help to those targeted, which is really sad and cowardice and deplorable. So if you're someone that could help do like a radio scan for the radio frequencies coming in and out of my body constantly, or another type of scan that could find the implants in my body or in my property, like the direct energy weapons, please, reach out to me. You could call me, I think is the best way, because a lot of my emails get intercepted. I do have a new email. My new email address is marhopkey40 at marhopkey40 at Outlook. I just set it up yesterday at outlook.com. I set up another one, marhopkey40 at gmx.com. Or you could call me. I'm a little nervous though about giving my number out on YouTube. There's so many different people that see it. So try to email me. Another email is marhopkey40 at gmail.com. They're all spelled MARHOPKI 40 at Gmail, at GMX, or at Outlook.com. Okay, I think I'm done with this video. But for all those folks that haven't heard of it, you learned something new today, I hope. Transponders being intravenously snuck in thousands of people unwittingly, on non-consensual basis, criminally. Very dirty, rotten spies is the name of the game, in a very strategic, covert warfare manner, silent war, where they do a slow kill of people like me. My mom, half her brain is damaged now from them breaking into our house and chemically poisoning us. They've also shot me with minute projectiles from a 0.5 millimeter to 0.01 millimeter in diameter, with microscopic firearms that are mobile, that they drive on our carpet under my door or in the hallway, even outside when the weather's not bad. When the weather is like how it is, real full of snow and cold, I don't get hit with these weird little stickers that cause me rash and mouth sores that I've been getting hit with for 4 years. I've seen ear, nose, and throat doctors. They mainly shoot it at me with rash like eczema and mouth sores like hyperplasia squamosa, candida, herpes. They've shot me with the flu a few times. They recently shot me with bronchitis. They make me burp with an implant they snuck in me and my mom's drinks in 2016, which also can cause this loss of appetite, bloating, even nausea. They can force a gag reflex with these implants. They put their face expressions over my face, which is, I don't even know if you can call that an involuntary movement, but yes. I have a list of over 30 different types of involuntary movements, and every day they do some of them to me hundreds to thousands of times a day. So I think now if you add it up and believe me, instead of putting some skepticism, because I promise you on the Holy Bible, and I've been a Christian my whole life. I haven't been a devout Christian my whole life, like a period in high school, or a period in middle school, or even a period in elementary school. But since my junior year of high school, I've been a devout Christian most years. And unfortunately, people like psychiatrists would rather just say I'm delusional and I'm imagining all this. Even though there's so much where they say there's plausible deniability, like on the political realm, there isn't anymore. There's hundreds of forms of evidence and testimony, things that are evident, people could observe, but a lot of people just play stupid. So play mean, play criminal, conspire, want to have access to the remote neuronal monitoring, reading other people's thoughts, so they don't tell about it, because they want to just read your thoughts with computers and transmitters, transponders, and people's bodies possibly from satellites, like a lot of other TIs, or I mean target individuals claim, but I think mostly from implants, if not all from implants. It's pretty hard to read someone's mind with a device, an electronic device way out close to outer space. Definitely inside the body is way more feasible. And I know I have, like I said, over 5 in my body that have long tendrils and long arrays of electrodes and sensors, electroencephalograph sensors. That electroencephalograph to read people's nerves energy has been around, was first discovered in 1908 and then like reinvented or something in 1924, and then it just went off. Like all these top scientists started studying it, including the Nazis. And then we had Operation Paperclip, where after World War II, the U.S. brought over 16 or 1,800 Nazi scientists, and some of them were top Nazis in the Nazi army, and their families as well, their wives and children, giving them top government clearance, top paying science jobs, top scientific jobs, you know, and how do we allow that? Thank you, President Truman. What a moron. Same with several hundreds to thousands of other people in the U.S. government and military. Bunch of crooks. Anyway, not the whole government and military, but a good number of them are, and have been since at least World War II. Look at all these dirty wars. George W. Bush is, they say, grew up with the Mengele family, who's the Dark Angel. Yusef Mengele was the Dark Angel from World War II that was involved in experimenting on and killing several thousand Jewish people. Oh, I think it was over 100,000, Yusef Mengele. And then he escaped. He escaped and lived in South America comfortably for 20 or more years. Had a family. Did more experiments on people down there. There's even or two people saying that he even went up to California a few times where eugenics was practiced quite a bit. And eugenics is in the class of like transhumanism and unethical, immoral. They're Satanists though. Adolf Hitler's main mentor was a witch that taught him not voodoo but witchcraft. With that root, I forgot the name of that type of root that they use. Like, anyways, I think I'm going off the subject a little bit, but you get an idea. Our country's really been infiltrated. There's been South American scientists where Nazis also infiltrated during and after World War II. Hispanic people that also were doing experiments on people, spying, coming up with stuff to short-circuit people's brains, you know, in the scientific and medical fields. Look up Dr. Jose Delgado. He's one of the most unethical brain scientists ever, and he was a professor at Yale University, where George Bush and, you know, the Skull and Bones, and even presidential nominee John Kerry was a member of the Skull and Bones group at Yale University. So, yuck. I don't like Yale. George Bush, I also suspect behind JFK's assassination strongly, and others. Pretty good sized group of people behind it there in Dallas and elsewhere. There's so much, though, that people don't know about, like FBI involved in Martin Luther King's assassination, NSA spying on all the U.S. citizens, the CIA and MK Ultra experimentations on hundreds of people and killing hundreds of people, famous musicians like Jimi Hendrix and lots of others. So we got this national security gang of spies in the NSA, the CIA, and possibly the FBI, like COINTELPRO possibly exists. But definitely the NSA, CIA have the shadow government in their grips and in their grasp, and they have been behind spying on millions of U.S. citizens unethically, illegally. Some of them, they can read their thoughts. Look up DARPA, DARPA, Defense Administration Research Project Agency. I don't know what DARPA stands for, but it's a top-notch U.S. military research center. Look up HAARP, H-A-A-R-P, the people who can alter the weather. Diabolical, sadistic people in top positions in the military, hiring a bunch of riffraff to remotely torture people like I've been. And I think I'll end it there. And if you know some way of helping me, you could shoot me an email. You can find me on Facebook, Marcus Hopkins. I'm the guy with the long blonde hair. Well, now it's short. Scandinavian, short hair now. And wearing a Vikings jacket, Minnesota Vikings football team jacket. And yeah, hopefully if you know someone that can help, I could hear from someone. I could sure use it. I'm going to email more churches today with my 60-page letter. And if you'd like to see that, I could send that to you. It's got all this information on patents, technologies, targeting people, how sadistic these criminals are, their multiple crimes, their damages. They're destroying humanity, or at least tons of crimes against humanity. Okay. Thank you for watching.